giving up 21 points per game. And in the last 8 games, the Saints have scored over 50 points and only have 2 games under 50 in which the scores were 14 and 42. But keep this in mind, their game high is 72 points. So they did score 72 points in the game. But on the flip side, of course, our comments, we aren't at the U tonight, but whenever we do have a home game, we do like to turn the field into the U, so I'm hoping that they do that tonight. But the Comets are 10-1, 4-0 in away games, so they're 4-0 on the road. And the Comets average 37 points per game while giving up 22 points per game. And the Comets only have two 50-point games compared to the 50-point games that Shiloh Christian has. And, Carl, just to pass it to you to hear some of your insight, what are you looking forward to this game?
I'm interested in seeing this battle up front, how they can combat this Mills defensive line. We do know that Caleb Sane will not be playing tonight. He had an undisclosed injury last week, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. And just seeing how Murdoch and Big Charlie can hold it down in there along with RJ and some of the other guys they have in there stuff in that middle.
And, Carl, it's crazy you say that about the defensive line, but I honestly think tonight's game will be won by the Comets if Ringo can keep his composure, if they can protect him in the pocket, and he plays the game that we know he can play, a game that he's played already this season. He just has to be great. It has to be great. This is playoffs, so the implications are win or go home. And, of course, we want them to win. So, Ringo, I believe this game will fall on Ringo, and I believe that he is up for that challenge.
I can definitely see this game falling into Ringo's hand, Tyler. Ringo is a guy that is very capable. We know his cool, calm, suave composure is what we love about him. He never seems to be too riled up. I've seen him in the tightest of situations, especially with all the adversity that the Comets have faced earlier in this season and all of the comebacks that they've had to pull together this season. So I think that has been good for them. You want those character games like that for moments like this when you're facing off against a team such as Shiloh Christian in the second round of the playoffs.
And, Carl, last week in the win, the Comets didn't use Jabray Shaw as much. He was pretty banged up. Of course, he is the go-to name. He's the player that everyone knows about. But they have a team full of athletes. But like I said, they didn't use him much. I expect him to be used in a lot of different ways in tonight's game. Maybe even at running back with Cameron Dunbar, I believe, being out. So I believe Jabray Shaw will probably see a lot of running back tonight, as well as receiver and the defensive side. So if that contusion is healed and he's ready to go, I believe that he will be used a lot. And I have a moment, so you guys won't be surprised. We do have our guy Steve. He will be pitching in tonight. And Steve, do you have anything you want to say or add?
Well, I tell you, I talked with Coach Lee earlier today. We talked a little bit about Jabray and his health, and I know they're missing 3 starters tonight. The big question was, how healthy is Jabray? He said he feels like he's about 80%. And so if that's the case, then 80% of Jabray is pretty good. But, I look at this game, just looking at the numbers coming into it. You look at the other side of the ball on offense for this Shiloh Christian team. This is a team and a quarterback in Eli Wisdom completing 68% of his passes at 243 yards per game. But he's also got 1,048 yards rushing. They have 2 runners that are over 1,000 yards on the season, their quarterback and their running back. And I think that's going to be a big key for this squad, for the Mills team, defensively, if they can slow down Wisdom as well as Bo Williams. If you can do that, which is not many people have been able to do this year, then obviously I like Mills' chances to keeping this thing close and pulling it out late.
Definitely. And, Steve, speaking about those yards, we do have Charlie and, of course, Murdoch, the guy who is leading the state in sacks. Do you think that those two will have an impact, or how do you feel like their impact will help with this defense tonight?
Yeah, I don't think that Shiloh Christian has seen a defensive line that's going to be quite this big and talented and athletic. And I think that's the difference in the game from the front seven. The linebackers, the defensive line, they should have a marked advantage on the front seven. Obviously, you know what Jabray is going to be doing playing center field back there. We saw what Anton Pierce can do with his 2 picks, almost 3 last week. So you've got the back end protection. The question is how much pressure can you get on it? I think Murdoch and Charlie, or the chocolate factory is going to be open tonight. I believe. I don't care if it's cold. I think the chocolate factory will be open tonight.
I think the same, Steve, for sure. And like you said, that quarterback on the other side of this ball, Eli Wisdom, he is a great quarterback. He does have 32 passing touchdowns to combine with his 14 rushing touchdowns. So that puts him at 46 on the season. That is a